Hello and welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
I'm Derry.
Indeed. And this is another episode of ADHD Theater. And
We'll probably have supreme ADHD tonight.
hey, Mom.
Pam.
It looks
my
like
number one fan.
It looks like Zombie isn't going to be here. He's on a side quest. But maybe he'll pop in a little bit.
You guys will just have to listen to me rant endlessly.
So what have you been watching?
So we actually started the Amazon show Cross today. Yeah. My wife really wanted to start it. We've both read some of the Alex Cross novels. There's no way I could ever stick with them. I think I read like the first 12, and after a while they got kind of redundant and stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, in my book, Along Came a Spider and Kiss the Girls, the first two novels are the best based off what I read. So, but the first episode was pretty good. I've heard good things about it. So
yeah,
we started that today. I actually on Apple TV, I was watching Silo too, but then like a show popped up with just a preview, like at the top.
Yeah.
And not really something that's my style to watch, but I'm a big fan of British shows.
Okay.
I mean, I love pretty much anything British, especially like murder, mystery type stuff.
Yeah.
This show's called Bad Sisters. It's about 5 sisters. And one of them's husband is what they call the very first episode, the prick. He's a real prick that screws all of them over in some way. And he dies, and then the cops aren't investigating them, but these 2 brothers who own an insurance company who don't want to pay the payout are like trying to investigate them. And they had planned out how to murder this guy over and over and over, and they kept failing. Each plan failed because of stupid shit. It was actually really funny. And I got hooked on it to where I think in 2 days I watched pretty much the entire first season, and now the second season is coming out weekly. So
okay.
Yeah, so this stuff here is from the second season, which I haven't started yet. But yeah, it's pretty fucking funny, based on how they that's the guy right there that they try to kill all through season 1, and it's pretty good.
Is that eye patch self-inflicted or like?
No, so the guy that they're trying to kill, actually, that's how he screwed that sister over. He was like driving erratically, being an asshole in the past, and they had a car wreck, and she lost her eye in the car wreck.
Oh, so wow! It has
that's her motivation.
Mom from Andor.
Yeah. Yep. So that was something, and I'm getting ready. Hopefully, we'll finish Tulsa King, because you and I talked about doing a series review. Yeah. But also I want to start the Dune Prophecy on HBO Max, the Dune prequels.
Yeah. What is the story with that, actually?
It's I think mostly centered on the Ben Gesserit, who are like what Paul Atreides is. Like his mom is a Ben Gesserit. Basically, they see kind of psychic-ish. I'm not have a real good grasp on what they're all about. So hopefully this show will tell a lot more of that, because I've only ever read Dune.
Okay.
And that's it. I never read any of the other books that are connected to the Dune universe.
Yeah, I mean, I have the first Dune, but I've never read it. It's just a nice, trophy on my bookshelf. It's like, oh yeah, I got Dune.
Yeah, I didn't read it until right before the first movie came out, and they had a really cool like limited edition or special edition or something that came out. I don't even know where it's at on my bookshelf back there, but the pages on the edges are like this bright blue,
Oh,
And the
interesting.
cover's like this shiny metallic, like shades of brown and orange. It's actually really cool looking. So that's what motivated me to read it. Was it was out everywhere because Dune was coming out that year, and I was like, well, I've never read that. I'll read it. But there's a lot of other books like
Yeah.
continue the story, but I've just never had the want to read the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, and I know one of my favorite authors, Kevin J. Anderson, actually picked up and wrote some stuff in that universe too. So um, that's pretty cool. My mom says we watched the whole season of Cross the last 2 nights. Really good. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on Don't Move.
We'll see if she can't wait to hear thoughts on Don't Move.
Alex Cross is one that I finished as well. But yeah, I know when we were talking about reviewing a movie series, I was like, well, what is there? I was under the impression you had been watching Tulsa King each week.
Yeah, we got through 3 episodes of it, and then just there was so much stuff coming out that we because that came out, and then some other stuff that we watched together. Then Lioness hit,
right?
Then
Lioness.
Now I got fucking Landman came out. I watched the first 2 episodes of that came out. Fucking,
what did you think of the second episode?
If you love Billy Bob Thornton, I mean, that show is fucking amazing.
Hey,
Zombie,
I made it.
Yeah.
But I thought both episodes were awesome. But they use a lot of the same actors and all of Taylor Sheridan's shows.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's never really bothered me because like Christopher Nolan does the same thing in his movies.
Yeah.
So if it's a good actor and I can see them as the character, then I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
The thing with Billy Bob Thornton for me is I love him, but he is the same person in every movie.
Yeah.
Like that just real abrasive, just kind of mouthy character. Because he was in a show on Amazon where he played an alcoholic lawyer. I think it was called Giant. Same exact character. Yeah. I mean, acts the exact same way. But I just love like Sling Blade's probably the only movie is his.
That's Sling Blade is probably the only unique movie of his. Whereas everyone else, he plays this, insane alcoholic that just hates everything and smokes, like Bad Santa. Like, we saw the kid from Bad Santa recently.
Oh, the little chubby kid.
Yeah.
I
don't remember what it was, but Pumira pointed out, she's like, "Hey, wait," and I'm like, "It is."
It was Trick or Treat.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, such a funny movie.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, indeed. We were just talking about things we watched. I watched Cross. He watched a couple episodes of Cross, but hasn't finished. And I
got all kinds of shit. Bad Sisters on Apple TV. I'm watching Silo season 2.
Yeah,
it just all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we watched, when I say we, I mean my mom and I both watched the show. We didn't watch it in the same room together, but it was just like, hey, I think I'm watching this show. And then she went on and watched it on her account too. And we're both competing to watch the show. We would text each other the episode we left off on and all that. So it was funny. But so we watched the it was interesting. The Lost Symbol, which I do believe I have presented. Where's the share screen? Oh, I need to stop this and then I can share it again. Share. And then
yes, Pam, I am unboxing, but I'm not going to share what was in the box because that's not what we do on this show.
He's gonna make you wait.
You got to tune in Monday for that.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me just do this.
I got a box in a box.
I got
I'm
a
not
box
gonna show
in a
you the
box.
front, though. Yeah, I'm not going to show you the front. Save that for Monday.
Share screen share. So we were watching this movie. Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol, which it was okay. It wasn't bad. I mean, it has this girl, Valerie Curry, who is also in The Boys. He's been in some stuff too.
Are you trying to share screen? Because it ain't working.
Dang it.
Thought so.
So it has the dude. This guy is from Arrow. He was Mad Dog or Wild Dog or something like that in Arrow. And it, of course, has the girl from Boys.
From this
Firecracker
latest
or
season.
something.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
The latest season, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's too late for me. Yeah, work is.
Yeah, I mean, me too, but that's not going to stop me. Look, I'm late because I was working.
Right.
I still made it.
Well, so yeah, the main guy is from Designated Survivor. That's right. Which that's this guy, which I don't remember him at all in Designated Survivor, but he must have just been a whatever background character or something, or a character with no consequence. If it wasn't Kiefer Sutherland, I wasn't really paying attention to it. But anyway, Designated Survivor, Peter McLeish, 10 episodes. So yeah, whatever. But so I don't know. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad watch. It was one of those things where NBC gave up on it immediately and canceled it straight away. And so they even sort of leave it open, like, hey, here's your next assignment. We have something else we want you to do. And then it's like, okay, but there's nothing to look forward to because there's never going to be a second season of the show.
It didn't test well with our focus groups.
Right. Which, I mean, it had its faults. It was a little cheesy, a little predictable occasionally, but overall it was pretty good. It left you wanting to continue the next episode, especially if you don't have anything else to watch, like me. I'm just like, all right, well, let's see where it goes type deal. So I don't know, take it what it is. If you're into that sort of thing, it's like supposed to be a thriller slash, it feels very National Treasury.
I mean, all the Dan Brown movies for the most part kind of do.
Right.
Like
so if you're into that sort of thing,
Treasury.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very much that similar type of concept, and it's worth a watch if you especially don't have anything else to watch. So, but like I said, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Alex Cross. There's one line in it that I know my mom won't approve of, but there's just one line in the very last episode. He's like, "You had me at motherfucker." I'm just like, that's hilarious. It reminds me of the "you son of a bitch, I'm in" quotes from Rick and Morty. It felt very much like that.
I thought you were gonna go. You had me at hello, but you know.
No, because I mean, he walks up and he's just like, he opens the door because these two guys have been fighting and there was high tension between the two of them, and he goes, "Motherfucker," and it just points at him like this, and he's just like, and then goes on. He's like, "I'm sorry," blah blah blah, and apologizes and all that. So it was just like the dude's just like, "You had me at motherfucker." Like, that was hilarious. I died laughing. I literally laughed out loud for several minutes. Had to pause it so I could recover. And then, of course, my girls came down the stairs. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Nothing. I just thought something was funny. That's all. That's all.
Yep.
But anyway. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we watched. We watched it's been a little light on TV shows because we watched the season finale of Tulsa King, and then we watched the first episode of Landman, and we watched Tracker, which if you haven't watched Tracker, I enjoy it. It's a decent show, and it's nothing like super exciting, but it's just a decent show if you don't have anything to watch. So I've rambled enough. Someone else's turn to ramble.
Well, I got nothing left on what I'm watching, so
I've been watching Time Passing By.
Yeah, we watched Found last
That's about
week.
it.
But yeah, Time Passing By. Yeah, that's definitely true with me. But it is what it is. Just got to keep. The horrors persist, but so do I. Right? So anyway, these movies aren't going to talk about themselves. Which one do we want to start with? Don't Move or Lockout?
let's go for Don't Move first. Just get it over with.
All right.
we
Well,
can tell which
since
one
that's
you
such
didn't
a
like.
Well, I
So-
mean, I wouldn't say I didn't like it. It's hard for me to put into words my true feeling for this movie. It just was very flat. Is probably the way I would describe it. Like, I didn't get excited. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. I kind of saw what was coming in a scene before it happened.
yeah.
I mean, most Netflix movies, even the ones that have big budget actors, I just don't think the writing is up to the level of a few of the studios in Hollywood. Not very many of them. There's not very many studios in Hollywood that actually have great writing anymore. I don't think
Yeah.
that they don't focus on that as much as, special
No, it's not.
effects and stuff.
Yeah, it's not as
So,
important.
I mean, for a Netflix movie, it was, I mean, I was engaged enough to pass the time. I didn't completely fall asleep and, or turn it off because I was just like, eh. But to me, it was just derivative. It was kind of flat. The lady in it, I'm not the biggest fan of, from Yellowstone, and it's hard
What?
for me to get past that. Like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, she's a little whiny bitch on Yellowstone, at least in the first seasons. And so now
Yeah.
it's stained my view of her.
Wow. Okay, so that impacted
And
you that much, huh?
There was no character development really on her other than her son passed away. So
yeah.
the way she talked, everything was just like her character on Yellowstone. Like, I don't know. I don't think much effort was put into it. They just took a script, hired a few people that are decent actors to act out the scenes, The one cool part was when the guy took the toe strap and just beat the cop with it. I thought that was interesting use of a toe strap. So I thought that was a little bit unique, but it just, as far as like a thriller movie, I was not on the edge of my seat at all. And I felt like there was some, what's it called? Some issues with, you wouldn't see her do certain things and she would end up in like an area, like in the old man's cabin, she's behind the couch. And I guess he threw her back there, or did she move on her own? Because there was some consistency errors with what she could and couldn't
do. Yeah.
At certain points. That might be not the best example of it, because he could have taken her out of the wheelbarrow and threw her back there.
He could have, but the way they paced the movie and cut the movie together, it was like there was no time in reality.
Yeah,
but,
so I just, some of that I noticed a little bit.
Like she fully reached up to grab the needle to inject him with, but
couldn't push the plunger down.
Even though at one point she had worked up enough to move her arm far enough to grab it.
So
yeah, I totally get what you're saying there, but I agree. Like you said, it wasn't the worst movie.
Like, I read reviews after it, and I mean, a lot of them were kind of the same theme of the way I felt. It was like middle of the road ratings and stuff like that.
For me, with the inconsistencies, it was in the beginning when she was getting away from him and she got into the river and she's floating. Yeah. She floats away, but suddenly she can't float while the boat's sinking around her. Like, okay, whatever. I don't know what sense that makes, but
now I just want to zip tie a human and throw them in a lake and see if they float or not. Does the zip tying have some kind of effect on it?
Well,
that's the only difference, was her hands were zip tied.
I know from what I've learned in lifeguard academy, so to speak, dead bodies float face down for dudes and face up for chicks, so might have something to do with how she was handcuffed or whatever. But so I guess my mom has something interesting to say. She at the very end, if you harken back to the very end of the movie, when she looks down on him and he, as he was dying, and says thank you, left her wondering if he was going to follow in his evil path.
I mean, I interpreted it as she was thanking him for giving her, basically, she realized that she had something to live for. Like, she didn't want to live and then does want to live. That's the way I interpreted it. But
yeah, that's also the way I took it.
Yeah.
I thought that I didn't even take it that far, because I mean, yes, I agree that she now has something to live, but at the same time, I don't think it was I personally didn't get the vibe that she was gonna now take on his dark path, that dude's dark path. I just took it as like a sick burn, because that was the last thing he said to his girl. But yeah, those words he said to Chloe when she was dying.
Yes, right. But she could have been throwing it in his face, like,
you know, do we even believe him what he said about Chloe to begin with, or could she have been his first victim into what he had done to others later after her? There's a lot of speculation that could come from that, like, well, because he's been lying the whole movie. You can't. I mean, every single line has been a lie. So
yeah, I don't know. I definitely didn't think he was the main chick was his first or even his second. So definitely feel like he's been doing it a little bit.
I was trying to figure out what he was going to tell his wife and daughter about
No kidding.
his vehicle being wrecked.
Right.
And there's this other truck now.
Right.
I mean, he's probably manipulated them for years. So
yeah, gaslighting him and whatnot.
Yeah.
But still, it's oh yeah, that's a neighbor's truck. I don't know.
I'm sure he would have come up with something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely something that I'm curious about to see how he would have worked his way through that situation. I kind of wish it didn't come to a head so fast in the movie, because I wanted to see how that played out with his family. Because I thought that would have been, kind of tense and interesting. Like, because she could say pretty much anything as she's regaining her vocal cords and ability to speak.
Mm-hmm.
She could throw out something and throws a wrench in everything that he's trying to talk and do. And I thought that would have been interesting. But again, I wouldn't ask for more time the movie to continue to explain that. But
you don't need a 3-hour cut. All right.
Right. Yeah. Definitely not asking for more time, Netflix. But
no.
If anything, I feel like it could be shortened. But
I mean, it's a terrifying concept to think about. What if that happened to you?
Yeah, totally.
Know? But I mean, past that, it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
It's just the execution of it. Like, you probably could have shot this story differently and actually made a more engaging movie. The story was so linear. I thought it was a little bit predictable. Some of the writing could use a little tweak, but there could probably be a good movie around this concept. Just the way they executed it was not so hot.
I think the scariest part for me was when she was still able to try and run from him, and she hid under the tree stump, and the ants were starting to bite her and everything. Like, that's the most terrifying part of it for me. That there is being paralyzed and then land on like a fire ant hill, and that's like
the one crawls up her nose.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have stayed still through that. No way.
There's no way I would have moved, though.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That'd be so hard to do.
Well, I mean, I imagine the hobbits had it no harder when the Nazgul were.
Yeah, but they didn't have ants crawling in their holes.
Yeah. Frodo, there's an ant crawling up your bum.
But that's definitely where that scene harkened from. I definitely think they were calling back to Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, because that's exactly what that felt like. It's like, okay, this is just a reused scene from Lord of the Rings. But all right, how do you rate it?
2.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Exactly.
So 2 for both of you. I
wasn't pissed at it. To me, it's not flawed but worthy. Is like 2. I can't give it 2.5 because I don't see it as worthy. I just see it as mediocre. Like, I will never watch this movie again. If it was on TV, I would change the channel.
All right.
Yeah. So my mom, who actually watched it, said it's a 4. I would say probably 3, because I thought it was a decent concept. But I mean, the execution / eye opening isn't relevant in this case, because I just thought it was a good concept to have this situation befall this girl who has no reason to live. You know, who knows if she was, you know, already suicidal and her family was aware, or if she just got up and took off one day. How long would it be until they actually look for her? And she drove far enough away that it's like not likely to be found unless they know it's somewhere that she would go. But
I would think they would probably look at that place pretty fast, just knowing that her kid died there. They would find her car and everything. Yeah, because he took her in his car. So they would find her car probably pretty fast, because I would think that's somewhere they would look, especially since her kid died there. Because they might just think, oh, she went out there and got injured herself. Like maybe they didn't know she was suicidal or whatever. But it just, I don't know. I just want to forget it.
All right. So let's move on to Lockout. What are our thoughts on Lockout? Who wants to start? Who wants to rant?
Derry, you were all about this one last week, so why don't you get us started?
So, I mean, this is a movie that when I first watched it, like, it was one of those movies that was surprising to me because it wasn't like a big blockbuster or anything. It has a relatively small budget. I mean, in today's terms, it was 20 million. Most of that probably going towards the actors, not really the special effects. I do think some of the special effects look weird, but I almost want to say it's intentional, like the scene where he's on the motorcycle thing.
Yeah, the unicycle.
It was almost anime-ish, like what was going on around him. So it looked weird, a live action dude sitting on the way the special effects were done.
It looked like it was a 3D movie that was, you know, they were trying to throw in the scenes, like he was looking all around him and things are exploding everywhere. And it's like, this is clearly what you think of as like movies like that are trying to explode things in your face. That's how it reminded me, but it looked so bad.
Yeah, those special effects scenes weren't great. I mean, I didn't remember that from the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really like about this movie, though, so Guy Pearce had always played, for the most part, non-threatening, very intellectual characters. For the most part, like if you see him in The Time Traveler, I mean, even in Memento, he's a little weird, but not too not super intelligent in that one. But it's the one where the movie plays in reverse and he's got what is it, anterograde amnesia.
And that was one of Christopher Nolan's first movies,
that
right?
was and so like this was just a unique part for him. Because he had never played anything like this. And actually, I remember saying when this movie came out, that like the way his personality was almost Deadpoolish, like how smart ass he is. I love his shirt that just says "Caution Offensive" on it. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty much that hostage rescue movie. And
it feels like an Air Force One / Die Hard in space.
Yeah. Well, so if you look at one of the writers of this movie, it's Luc Besson, which we've done multiple of his other movies on this show. So we did The Professional, we did Fifth Element, but he's done so many freaking movies over the years. Like, let me look here real quick. Taken, all the Takens he wrote, even the TV series Taken, La Femme Nikita.
Oh,
like
really?
this guy had, Point of No Return, which is the American version. All the Transporters. So it's always this kind of formulaic man rescuing woman. If you think about all those different like movie collections or whatever the fuck you call them.
Yeah.
I think in this one though, he didn't really like, his interest wasn't saving her. It was getting the information from Mace, his contact or whoever.
Yeah.
To me, his character in this, not Mace, but Guy Pearce's
Snow.
character, Snow. His character was like you said, very Deadpoolish, but also like, okay, well, we're doing this now. You know, he just went through it. Like, situation would come up, and he would just kind of go with it and adapt. And okay, we're doing this now.
Right. Which I like it. I liked it.
I mean, it's almost like Murphy's Law a little bit.
Yeah.
Like nothing ever worked out. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong on this whole trying to save her thing. And just the one brother who's the crazy inmate, like I really like that guy's part because he's just totally unhinged. He's like the Joker.
It reminds me of a
Dark
character.
Knight.
Oh,
It reminds me of a character I saw in on a British show.
I thought you were going to say Preacher.
Misfits? Do you guys know Misfits?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I figured you would probably know the best because he was the main character on Misfits, the British show. So I thought you might know him, but yeah, that he was one of my favorite characters. It reminded me very much of that guy. He even has music video thing, and I don't know.
What was his
music
well,
video?
it had the dude from The Walking Dead in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Lenny
James, yeah.
Yeah. Which he's like, there's a big cop drama from Britain called Line of Duty that he was in. It's like one of those ones that's went on for years. He was in that. I mean, he's always been a really good actor in anything that he does. And then Peter Stormare's like the GOAT Russian actor. Like, I love
the way
that
they made
dude.
him speak in this, though, it was so uncomfortable. Like, he was trying to do like a Southern accent, but with his Russian accent getting in the way, it was like, oh, what are you doing?
Robert Sheehan, that was his name.
Yeah, in the show.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's the actor's name. That's who that character reminded me of. So if you've never seen Misfits, go check it out. But I loved that dude. He was so unhinged. It was just like,
oh yeah,
totally unpredictable. So, but yeah,
he was in Preacher. He was the vampire best friend in Preacher. You didn't see Preacher, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I saw Preacher.
You looked confused.
No, I was agreeing with you. I was nodding my head, but I guess I wasn't nodding emphatically enough.
Oh, okay. It was his accent. I recognized his voice, and I'm like, is that the same guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be. Nah, it can't be. He doesn't look the same. And I realized, this movie was made so many years before the show Preacher. Like, it is him. Holy crap. I just looked it up.
Yeah, the other brother convict, like the one who was leading it, he was in 300. He was also in, I think, Wrath of the Titans. And there's Snow White and the Huntsman.
Okay.
Like, I remembered him from those.
He
not necessarily as big of an actor, though.
I recognize him. Oh, yeah, sorry. Must have hit
you're back.
I hit a button or something.
Oh.
No, he looked familiar too. I just couldn't remember what I'd seen him in. I don't think I've seen any of those.
You haven't seen 300?
Oh no, wait, yeah, I did see 300.
He's the
probably...
father. He's the father of the young kid that gets killed, and he like goes mad during the battle.
Okay.
It's hard to forget anything that isn't. This is Sparta. Gerard Butler is so great. But anyway.
Oh God, I've watched.
No one's allowed to like that movie either because it's Zack Snyder. So.
Right.
Yeah. Only one of probably my favorite comic book movies of all time, but most people just think it's a history movie. Oh, it's about Thermopylae. Well, yeah.
The Battle of Thermopylae. Yeah. I don't know. I really like that movie, and another Zack Snyder movie that gets underrated is Watchmen.
Yeah. It's way over people's head. Like
Yeah.
the average person that went to see Watchmen, like their IQ is probably 30 points below where it needs to be to understand that movie. Like you got to be fairly in. This sounds kind of bad, which I don't give a shit. People can get mad at me, but like that movie is so deep.
Yeah, the book is incredibly deep, and I think he did a fairly decent job of adapting it. But there's only like one gripe, and I will stand on this hill until I die. But my biggest gripe with that movie is the amount of
blue penis
spandex on that's covering Dr. Manhattan's wiener,
or lack thereof.
Well, because he was naked through the entire movie. And the clothing, he started out having a Superman type spandex undergarments, but as the character developed and kept developing, that grew less and less and less. That was a direct comparison to the grip on humanity that he had within him, and his grasp on it. Like the fewer clothes he has on directly correlates to how attached he is to the human race.
Well, hell, when we do this show, then I'm not attached to the human race at all.
You're just be naked.
I mean, down south. I mean, I don't want to get the show banned or anything. So,
but anyway, that's just one of the gripes I have with it. But by and large, the rest was great. I thought it was awesome. But that's not even the movie we're supposed to be talking about. So back to Lockout. I didn't like the motorcycle, the unicycle chase scene at all. I thought it was really just not good. But like you guys said, I liked the rest of it. I thought it was pretty decent.
Old Pam, she's got jokes tonight.
Oh boy.
Stand up and take a bow.
Stands up, turns around, takes a bow. Full moon.
Yeah. Anybody want to do some crack?
Oh man. No, you got to talking about Gerard Butler, and I did watch something recently with him in it, and I can't remember what it was. It's driving me crazy.
Greenland.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah. That's what it was. Man, I was really drawing a blank. Look, that was a week ago. I can't be expected to remember that.
Tyson
style. Yes, yes. Look, this whole time I had a 3D print of Mike Tyson, and I didn't even know
style.
That might look better than his ass, though.
There you go.
I don't know. I think they both look the same. So
yeah, one movie with Gerard Butler that I want to go back and watch again. Well, actually, two. Law Abiding Citizen, because I saw a scene from it on I think TikTok today.
Yeah.
But a movie that people did not like when it came out, but I absolutely love this movie is Timeline.
Yeah.
And he's Paul Walker's best friend in Timeline. It ends up staying in the past, like with his wife, because he's the grave that they see at the end because he's missing an ear. That movie, like, people hated it, and it's got its flaws and everything, but I mean, it's a Michael Crichton book. I read the book, and then like I watched the movie. I couldn't tell you how many times. Like, I just thought it was a cool idea. The scenes where they're like going back in time and they're in that mirror machine and they're all going like, that was pretty bad. But the rest of the movie, like, I found to be really pretty good. So,
well, I'll have to watch those one day. Actually, that brings up a topic that okay, hang on. Let's do this before we get too far away from it. Let's place our ratings here for Lockout.
I'm going to go with 3 on this one.
God, I think that's where I got to be too. Like, this is the difference between this and the first movie for me is rewatchability. If I'm bored and these two movies are side by side on YouTube TV and I have to pick one, I'm picking Lockout. It's just more my style. I like Guy Pearce's character. It's got action. Don't Move has that bitch from Yellowstone.
And I don't like Maggie Grace with short hair. She should.
That looked terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, keep your hair long, please.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't like being in the middle, like on ratings, but this one just solidly lands in the middle. But I mean,
well, it's like you said, it's not terrible, but it's not terribly great.
Yeah.
I will say there's one good thing that I thought was pretty decent about the movie. Towards the end, when they have all those ships going in and out and around, it was cut very quick, very much like a Star Wars scene. It was very much like in the cockpit, out of the cockpit, wide shot, in the cockpit, out of the cockpit, wide shot. It was just, it flowed very well. Like, it felt very much like how George Lucas would have shot that scene. And so I was like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. It's like, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. And so that was the one thing that I thought was actually pretty decent.
The thing I didn't like about the end of the movie is when they jumped in those suits and just, did not burn up in the Earth's atmosphere and they safely parachuted down and landed. I'm like,
well, they got better technology than we got right now. So I was like, okay, you got a glass on the front of your helmet.
Right.
Is that not? Yeah, but then I was like, okay, it's sci-fi. Like, they got some great new materials that we don't have access to or something.
I know Kumara was like, wait a minute. Wait, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, yeah, well, I think it was supposed to be low enough in the Earth's atmosphere to still be in orbit, but not be in orbit. And that's how they just flew out and fell down.
Well, no, you see them make re-entry because you see the flames. Like, as soon as they make re-entry in the atmosphere, like, that thing was in outer space.
Yeah, the whole thing about not being able to lock in an orbit or whatever, that was kind of weird for me too. It's like, wait. You can get far enough away where you can lock your orbit and you don't have to constantly maintain orbit, okay?
Right.
Mhm.
Well, I just thought it was weird how they jump out and then shoot straight down and get carried away from the explosion that was happening in 3, 2, 1.
Right.
And then they
Right.
jump out and it's like, okay. And then they just fall immediately.
Well, it's not
Earth.
that they're falling. The scene shows them going down because that probably registers in your brain better. It's the force of the explosion that's pushing them into the atmosphere. So there's no gravity there in space, but you think in space, if an explosion goes off, you continue on forever until you run into something in the same vector because there's no forces to act on you. So
But
in
just
my
the timing
mind,
of the scene.
the scene
jump
probably didn't
out.
make it look that great.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. They jump out and then immediately shoot straight down and then it explodes. And it's like, okay, I don't know about that. But overall,
That's what
I
you get
will
with a
also
3,
say
Dustin.
I will also
I mean,
say 3.
It should have ended with, a child and their parent or whatever looking up at the sky and you see a shooting star go across the sky and it just burns out. That
Mhm.
should have been them.
Yeah.
Make a wish.
So I tried to
They
watch a
didn't make it.
movie earlier this week. It wasn't. I thought it was a TV show, but it had Jason Alexander in it, and it was called Meteor. And oh my Lanta, the acting was so bad. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I can continue to watch this. And my mom's like, yeah, I don't think so either, because we were watching the same thing at the same time. So she's like, I'm gonna go over and watch Alex Cross, and I'm just like, yeah, all right, me too. I just didn't watch it.
But did the Statue of Liberty crumble like it was made of concrete?
No,
No,
but
never letting that go.
But on that line, the reason I even brought that up was because the meteors were crashing into the Earth, and they're just like, oh, look, look at the star, make a wish, and then it's like, boom, and burns up their yard and stuff. And
I wish I wasn't standing right here.
Right. There's dirt and gravel and bricks. That's the weird thing. Bricks everywhere. And it's just like, they're in a field. Where did the bricks come from? No bricks around. Nothing on their fence line or anything. I'm just like, what the heck? But anyway, that was on Hulu, and I was just like, yeah, that was really rough. I think I've watched maybe an hour with commercials. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I just can't do this.
Wow.
I can't.
So we do have movies already set up for
Meteor, not Meteor. Not that one.
True.
Meteor.
So since we don't have to have a half an hour conversation about choosing movies, before I have to jump, I do want to throw out an idea that I think would be cool, and you guys can chew on this and we can talk about it for future weeks, maybe in December or something.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool instead of just picking random movies.
Okay.
Like, since we haven't really lived in that 4.5, 5-star area, I think it would be cool if there's a week where all 4 of us are going to be here. Well, 2 weeks or something where we pick what we think are 5-star movies.
Okay.
And we make everyone, like Dustin picks what he would consider a 5-star movie, and all 4 of us have to watch it, and we see where we all land on the same movie.
You are going to make this terribly hard on me because I don't think there is a 5-star movie for
well,
me.
And between 4 and 5, I would say.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I've got a few movies that I would say are absolutely 5 stars. Like, if you ask me, the first Back to the Future movie is a 5 fucking star movie.
Not what I expected.
It is by far probably one of the best stories, best executed movies in my opinion. And like, it's always good. Like, this is my opinion, but of all time, it's probably one of the best movies ever put together.
Fair enough.
I would put Ghostbusters in between a 4 and a 5 for me in my book, the original Ghostbusters. Beyond that, don't shake your head, Dustin, just because you watched it in like
no
2019
I haven't watched it at all.
or something. The first Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. I'm done with this shit. Like, well, then we're gonna fucking make you watch that shit like
it's coming
real quick.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be cool. Like, what do each of us think is a top tier movie in our opinion? Like, what's one of the best movies that's ever been made?
So I like that idea. I'm down to chew on that in the future weeks. I also have an idea for how to pick movies. I was thinking that we should pick someone in the movie industry that we like, and then we watch all the stuff around them.
I mean, some of that could be a very big list.
Well, yeah. So like
pretty big library.
For example, we've talked about Gerard Butler a lot. We could pick from the plethora of movies Gerard Butler's in.
Dude, like
and
2.
Just sort of plow through them all, and we could have like a Gerard Butler month, and then we could have a Christian Bale month where we watch all the Christian Bale movies, or vice, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought that would be kind of cool to do at some point.
He's waiting on a response from a zombie.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just not from anyone.
I nodded. Yo, I mean, all right.
Apparently, it's crickets on that front.
I think a month is probably a little much for one actor. But like, if we look,
well, no, we pick movies from that character, from that person's. Like, we pick 2 movies from each week, and then we move on to a different one.
Yeah, so you do 8 movies with the same actor, basically.
Yeah,
a 4-week rotation. That might, I don't know, that might get a little stale with the same actor. I almost think it'd be cool, and people might think this is a crazy idea. Watch an actor, pick an actor that we like, and then someone else who's in one of those movies. Then we got to pick movies that they're in.
Yeah.
So like, say like Morgan Freeman's a supporting character. Then we got to pick 2 Morgan Freeman movies. And then I don't know who's in Kevin Costner. Like, we watch Robin Hood, Kevin Costner. Next week we do whatever. I think we can make something work. I think if you do 8 movies of the same actor across a month, it might get a little stale for people.
Yeah.
Like me, because I'm only worried about myself.
Some of them don't have what?
Some of them don't have range. They're the same. Like Jason Statham is the same in every movie he's in.
True.
That's.
I will correct you on that, zombie. I will correct you on that. There are movies, Jason Statham's early movies, like Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels, Snatch. Totally nothing, but he's only played 2 characters his entire career. So it's either the action dude or it's the British, like, I don't even know what you would call that, skeptical British comedy guy. I don't fucking know. But yeah.
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Yeah, essentially something like
call
that.
It the 6 Degrees of ADHD.
Yep. So we'll figure something out, but I'm interested in these ideas. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to send them on up the ladder, either post in the comments or shoot us an email. The email is in our link tree. And so let's get some involvement. I don't know. I think that sounds good. So we already, like we said, we already picked the movies for next week. So next week, first of all, starting Monday, we have It's Frickin' Figures. And
there's our skeleton guy.
Yeah. This is probably one of my favorite shots with my Pumpkin King and my werewolf guy. And yeah, it's all good. And then
your skeleton pilgrim.
Yeah.
And then boom, Pilgrim and Thanksgiving. Pilgrim is on Hulu, and Thanksgiving is on Netflix.
Right.
So I have Disney Plus, and they kind of have a shared thing with Hulu. Is this still available to that? Because there's some Hulu things I don't have access to.
Yes, it is on Hulu. If you look it up, it says Hulu/Disney Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should be able to do that then.
Yep.
But it's very fitting because I found this.
Nice.
So I found my other pilgrim hat print.
I love it.
I'm not gonna be able to size that right. There we go.
And
I had it for a second. I got plans for this. I'm hoping to have it ready before the show Friday.
And I have nothing interesting on my desk except this bottle cap that I can put on my head, maybe.
Well, this is
my fez.
So this 3D print was done by that's the same one too. Yeah, hey, it's me. See? Wait, let me do it again. Did his head fall off or did the hat fall off?
The hat.
I thought the hat was permanently attached. Is it not?
Yeah, the hat's permanently attached. But...
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, this hat was sculpted to go on these the Mythic Legion skulls, which is the Derry, you still ain't got it.
A little higher up,
bro.
The Mythic Legion skull, like you saw on the picture for this coming Monday with our skeleton pilgrim dude. So it took a little bit of finagling to get on the reproduction of my head that Dustin just showed off. Yeah, him. So yeah, because it's got like a really weird like inset for the cap.
Yeah. So
it doesn't fit on like a normal head. So remember that for next Friday, maybe even Monday. So I might have it ready for Monday. I'll show it off on Monday too.
Nice.
So I got plans. We enjoyed Thanksgiving.
Thanks for sharing.
Oh yeah, hey, thanks, Matt. No, we total brain fart. Look, forgive me. Like I was going to say earlier, I just finished a 13-hour shift, so I'm kind of fried right now.
Yeah.
And I haven't eaten anything since 11, so
Taco Bell, brother. Gotta get you some of that Baja Blast.
So, well, I've had 2 today already, so I'm fueled on caffeine right now.
If you guys check it out at Walmart, since we all love Baja Blast so much, they have a mother effing Baja Blast Snuggie this year.
What's a Snuggie?
You don't know what a Snuggie is? It's like that blanket that you put your arms through.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like the thing that goes on the drink, like a
koozie.
You can wear a Baja Blast blanket around the house in public. Who really gives a shit? Like, no one's going to have anything that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do Cheetos. They do a Doritos one, but they had a Baja Blast one. And I wish I would have bought it that day when I first saw it. So, yeah. Make sure you pick up your Baja Blast branded Snuggie at Walmart.
Yeah, because I mean that's what That's what our movie ratings bring you. We bring you 2 movies that's rated our officially unofficial Baja Blast
Sponsor.
rating scale.
Little
Yep.
Baja Blast starfish.
And for anyone out there who's watching, go sign up for Matt's comic giveaway, and then stick around and follow his Kickstarter. There are the links there in the chat. So
Nice.
do that.
All right, guys. I got to drop, even though we're wrapping up.
Yep.
I got to run. It's good to see everybody. Can't wait to talk about these Thanksgiving movies. I know nothing about what I'm walking into. I'm not even going to watch previews. So
I love Thanksgiving. That one
Yeah.
is so good.
yeah, never seen either of these. We'll see what happens with them.
Yeah.
So, but
Very good.
I'll catch all you guys later.
Yep. We'll see you
And
later.
Just stay cool.
Yeah.
Love you, Pam.
All right. Well,
think
I know
that's
I
a
don't
wrap
have.
anyway, huh?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah. So no, come check us out Monday. You know what? As a matter of fact, yeah, it's called It's Frickin' Figures. I think I'm not tied up on Monday night. So you wanna do it a little earlier? You wanna do it 9:00? 9:00 Monday night?
I don't see why not.
Yeah. All right. Because usually we got to wait a little bit later because I don't get home until later. But no, I'm like, because it's like Thanksgiving break or something next week.
Okay.
So yeah, unless something changes. So 9:00 Eastern time. It's Frickin' Figures right here on the Madness Network. Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. He's Dustin. I'm Zombie. And who knows who else might pop in. Next Friday, come back for Pilgrim and Thanksgiving. You got this strobe thing going on. we did watch Thanksgiving separately last year.
Yep.
But we both enjoyed it. I don't know if we got to review it or not. So this might be the first time we've actually sat and reviewed it. I don't remember.
Yeah, there we go.
So
yeah, I don't think so either, but I don't know. It slips my memory. I need to keep track of these things, but I don't.
Yeah, no, really. Any other shows between the two?
Coming up in an hour is Freewheeling Friday with Pops, and I believe there's a guest on tonight.
Pops is back. All right.
Yeah. Yep, he's still recovering, but he's getting his strength back up and all that. So, and he was back at it pretty much the next day. Trying to help with shows and stuff like that where he could, but yeah. He's a trooper for sure. But until then, come back and check us out on Monday. It's Frickin' Figures. And until then, Thunder Nerds ho.